Welcome back everybody, Matt the Bat here. Hope you're having a good week. So the new Olivia Wilde movie, Don't Worry Darling, has officially been released this past weekend. Obviously this movie has had a lot of drama behind the scenes. I'm sure some of you out there have heard all the drama. First starting with Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf was cast in the movie. Then he apparently at the time got fired from the movie. You know, with all the stuff coming out with him at the time, Olivia Wilde fired him, but apparently we found out about a month ago that wasn't the case. Shia LaBeouf quit on his own. Then they weren't being professional enough. So that started a lot of stuff. And then we've heard that Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde got into arguments after filming. Some have said it's because Olivia Wilde has been pushing this movie as an erotic thriller, very erotic movie, like movies we haven't seen in a long time. And I have earlier Florence Pugh was not happy about that. And I'll get into that when I talk about the movie itself. And then, of course, recently at one of the Venice Film Festivals, or Toronto Film Festivals, Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine. So yeah, this movie has had a lot of drama behind it. Now, how much of it is 100% true, we don't know. Other than the Shia LaBeouf quitting, that's true because he came out and said it. And yes, there is a video of Harry Styles' saliva coming out of his mouth, hitting Chris Pine. Now, whether that was intentional or just a whoopsie, there is a video out there, so the proof is in the pudding, I guess you can say. But anyway, that has really garnered a lot of hype, and all of this behind the scenes of this movie. And gets people I want to go see this movie now. And like that, Olivia Wilde is directing this movie. She's also in the movie. She is not the star of the movie. She's a supporting actress in the film, supporting character. This is coming off of her win back in 2018 with Booksmart. That was her first directorial debut. This time she's directing and stepping in front of the camera a little for a few scenes in the movie. Once again, not the main character, but the question is Olivia Wilde, is she Mel Gibson and Ben Affleck? Or not? Let's get into it. So, Don't Worry Darling. First and foremost, the most positive thing about this movie, Florence Pugh plays the main character. Alice. This is her story. We're in her point of view. We're introduced to this world through her. As she starts, after about the first act, she starts questioning things and wondering what's going on. Where is she? Is this real or not? Florence Pugh once again steals the show. I would truly say if this wasn't for Florence Pugh, this movie wouldn't have worked as well. She carries this movie on her shoulders, especially when it comes to the acting in this movie. I said all the way back in 2019, I said, for this actress who has come out of nowhere is going to be a major actress sooner or later. And the sooner has already come. In 2019, she had Fighting With My Family and Midsommar. She was great in both of those movies, even though I think Midsommar was a little bit of a letdown after Hereditary, yeah. And then she followed that up in 2019 with Little Women remake, which she got an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress for. She was great in that movie. She had that great monologue near the end of that movie with Timothée Chalamet. And she, like that, and even in the Black Widow movie, not a great Marvel movie, but she was the standout as Yelena, kind of Black Widow's half-sister, or not biological sister. But, she was the best part of that movie. And once again, Florence Pugh continues to dominate the screen. I mean, he is a powerhouse in this film. I mean, if you want to see this movie for one thing, I would say see it for Florence Pugh. Another actor that didn't give a really good performance is my buddy Chris Pine. No, he's not really my buddy. I just like to say that. But Chris Pine is awesome in this movie. The only problem is, he's not in that much in this movie. Talk about a very underdeveloped character that somehow Chris Pine elevates. And I think that's strong acting on his part. He's only in about 3 scenes in this movie. And one of them he has with Florence Pugh, and it's dynamite, back and forth, at a dinner table. Is a major highlight of the film. Definitely underused actor that should have been in a lot more of this movie. But once again, Chris Pine is an excellent talent. I think a very underrated actor, in fact. But once again, when you got a Florence Pugh and a Chris Pine, even if the material isn't that great, you got 2 great actors stepping up and giving their great performances. Another thing is the cinematography in this movie. Very stylish, very good to look at, beautiful cinematography. This is by Matthew Libatique. He is known for movies like a lot of Darren Aronofsky movies, The Wrestler, Black Swan. He also he did one of the Wolverine movies. I think he did the one in when Hugh Jackman goes to Japan. That's actually to me one of the better looking X-Men movies of all time. Beautifully shot movie. He also DP'd the first Iron Man, and he did a great job with that. Funny enough, there's scenes in this movie where Florence Pugh and all the other women in this community are doing like yoga, ballet, and it's like a lot of black and gray colors, and that's when I knew. I'm like, dude, this must mean the cinematographer from Black Swan, because the cinematography is identical. The shots, the coloring, the shadows, like I said, the black and gray, and it's in a ballet studio. I feel like I'm watching like Black Swan Part 2 in these scenes. And sure enough, it was the same cinematographer. So, also the production design and set design is great. Right? This is set in the late 50s, early 60s. And everything from the cars, to the wardrobe, to the houses, definitely has that late 50s, early 60s feel. It looks great. Like I said, overall, I coined this movie a beautiful movie. With A, cinematography, B, set design, and wardrobe, and 3, all the actors in this movie. Like then you got Florence Pugh, beautiful. Harry Styles. I'm gonna get into his acting, but okay, we can admit the guy is good looking. Chris Pine, great looking. Gemma Chan, great looking. Olivia Wilde, great looking. So overall, this is a beautiful movie. On the screen and everything around the actors. So, good job Olivia Wilde on that note. Even if you don't like the movie, you can't deny the beauty of everything in it. So, and also the score. The score in this movie, I think it was John Powell, is very haunting at times, creepy at times, and it works. I really love the score in this movie. It's like his own character in the movie. You hear a little bit of it in the trailer, but when you see the full film, the score for this film is excellent. So like I said, all the behind the scenes, not the drama, all 3, but behind the camera, like the cinematography, the score, the set design, and all that, meticulous, great, perfect. The negatives. Number 1 is the pacing. This movie is only 2 hours and 2 minutes. And I definitely think this movie could have been like an hour and 40. Hour and 45. I think it would have made a tighter film. It would have made a more gripping, tension-filled movie. And and there's also that, or it could have been longer, because a lot of characters get underdeveloped. Olivia Wilde's character. We find out something about her near the very end of the movie, and you go, what? That's like a major, needle drop. You need to, go into that a little bit more. Or Chris Pine's character, and his relationship with his wife. Or Gemma Chan. I'm like, you need to develop that a little bit more. So on one hand, the movie should have been shorter, but on the other hand, it's or you should have made it longer and developed your characters more. Because other than Florence Pugh, nobody else is developed in this movie. And like I said, Chris Pine is able to elevate the material because he's such a great actor. Also, let's get into you know who. Harry Styles. Sorry, Harry. You are not Will Smith. Sorry, Harry. You are not Jennifer Lopez. Sorry, Harry. You're not Lady Gaga. What do I mean by that? Well, all those people I mentioned started out in the music business as singers. Then they moved over to acting. Harry Styles. You're not an actor. Sorry. You might have been in Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, but you had very little lines in that movie. A lot of that movie was just you running around, making facial expressions, and running around. You can't act, buddy. I'm sorry. You can't. And to know that the original actor was going to be Shia LaBeouf in this role, I just go, you needed Shia LaBeouf in this role. I don't care. I've heard a lot of people say, I could have never seen Shia LaBeouf in that role. And that's because you're seeing Harry Styles. And you go, no, I don't see Shia. Because you see Harry. But once again, let's remember, people, nobody saw Heath Ledger as the Joker when they announced him. And now what do we say? He's the best Joker ever on screen. Actually, I would say this. As soon as I heard that Shia LaBeouf was supposed to play this role, if there is something that happens in the third act that I go, Shia LaBeouf would have been fucking perfect in this role. Oh my god. Not to mention, like I said, Florence Pugh and Harry Styles are married in this movie. And there's a scene where they're arguing. And let me tell you, Florence Pugh is such a great actress. She is so good in the role and in that moment. And Harry Styles is just it's like someone put his lines up in front of them. Read the lines. Just read the lines. Because that's what it feels like. He's just reading the lines. And I'm like, you put Shia, you've seen Shia be intense. You've seen Shia go off. And he's a phenomenal actor, Shia LaBeouf. That would have been the moment of the movie. To see Shia and Florence Pugh going at it. Because she is elevating this material. And we know Shia LaBeouf can elevate material. That would have been a dynamic scene. But because you got Harry Styles over here, because he is good looking, it doesn't work. Florence Pugh, definitely has the upper hand. It's almost sad. Olivia Wilde, I know you're fucking Harry Styles, but that doesn't mean you put him in your movie. Sorry. Just because you're banging him, doesn't mean you put him in your movie. Am I right? There's a lot of directors out there that have wives. That doesn't mean they put them in their movie. What is this? Steven Spielberg learned that the hard way. Indiana Jones 2. He put it, Catherine Shaw, isn't that her name? In the second Indiana Jones movie, Temple of Doom. Kate Shaw. Guess what? Not that good of an actress. Guess what? That was the only movie she did. There's your answer. But yeah, Harry Styles, you're not an actor. Stick to singing. So pacing, Harry Styles. And also, Olivia Wilde said, oh, this is going to be an erotic thriller. We haven't seen an erotic thriller in so many years. Hollywood has been like tiptoeing around that. Back in the 80s and early 90s, there were these erotic movies and women got to, meet women and I'm watching this movie going, almost like the movie we got earlier this year, Deep Water with Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. And that was a movie, an erotic thriller. The same director of Unfaithful back in 2002 with Richard Gere and Diane Lane. This is the same director. This is going to be the next Unfaithful. No. Now we got Olivia Wilde. Oh yeah, this is going to be an erotic thriller. I put together a trailer that I couldn't even show. They had me cut out all these scenes in the trailer because it was too erotic. And then you see the movie. 2 scenes in the entire movie. Let's start there. 2 scenes. One of them you see a little bit in the trailer of Harry going down on Florence Pugh. And that goes on for just a little longer than you see in the trailer. I don't refer to that as an erotic thriller. Or at least not erotic. Sorry. Please give me the definition of erotic thriller to these directors, because these directors don't know the word erotic thriller. Like I said, there's no nudity in this movie. It's not like when they are having sex, they're taking their clothes off, where, Florence Pugh's topless and you see Harry Styles' junk or whatever. Not that I want to see that, no thank you, but this is not an erotic thriller. There's no nudity. Part of the scene where Harry goes down on Florence is in the trailer. So, and there's only one other scene where they're having sex, and they have their clothes on. Explain the word erotic thriller to me, because this ain't it. It's a thriller, but is it erotic? I mean, unless you just count seeing Harry Styles' face on screen will make women, horny, then I guess that's your definition of an erotic thriller. Harry Styles, everyone. How many women in the audience are going to have an orgasm for Harry? I mean, that's about it. I mean, that's the extent of the erotic thriller. Harry goes down on Florence Pugh once, and you see most of it in the trailer. So, yeah. So, don't tell people that your movie's an erotic thriller when it really isn't. And let me tell you, that means a lot of people are going to go see this movie. And they're like, oh, Harry, yeah, we're going to see Harry naked. No, sorry. Oh, Florence Pugh, we're going to see Florence Pugh naked. No. This is not 50 Shades of Grey. Okay? That's an erotic thriller. I mean, anyway. Also, you might be going to this movie and then, I see a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of stuff from other movies. And you're not, number one, the Stepford Wives. This is 100% a Stepford Wives movie. If you've seen the Stepford Wives, this is it. It also has a lot of Clockwork Orange, the Stanley Kubrick movie. Yes, it goes into that territory. It also has Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass. There's a lot of scenes where Florence Pugh is looking in a mirror, or we're looking through. There's actually a shot where she's looking through a mirror, and then the mirror reflection is we're seeing what's behind in the background of that mirror, and it's like mirror, mirror, mirror. And I'm like, wow, ooh. Not to mention, like I said, Florence Pugh's real character's name is Alice. So, a little bit of Alice in Wonderland in there. Going down the rabbit hole. And crazy enough, this movie even has a little bit of The Matrix. Yep, I said that. Don't Worry Darling has references to The Matrix. So if you actually put all those movies, Stepford Wives, Clockwork Orange, The Matrix, and any of those three sci-fi movies, this is technically a sci-fi movie, which you wouldn't realize going into it. I'm not spoiling anything. I won't get into detail of that. But, and then my thing, you have Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass. There's a lot of scenes of her in the mirror, looking in the mirror, glass. Even that one scene where the glass is closing in on her. Yeah. Overall, I would give this movie a 3.9 out of 5. It wasn't as bad as some people thought. I don't get why it has like a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. I would say at least a C plus, B minus is fine. So like 3.9 out of 5 for me. Also, I'm surprised that once the credits started rolling, we didn't hear the Beach Boys song, Don't Worry Baby. That would have been a great song to put in the movie. Maybe during that time, we just said in the late 50s, when the Beach Boys were, or maybe before their time. But hey, you should have put the song in the movie, and it would have worked. Don't worry, baby, everything will be alright. I mean, that actually would be perfect. Don't worry, baby. Instead of Don't Worry, Darling, Don't Worry, Baby. Yeah. Hey, baby. Hey. Anyway, back to Matt here. So let me know. Did you see Don't Worry, Darling? Was it a darling in your eyes or not?